This project is about identity crisis. I will be talking about this while I will be painting on my jeans at the same time. This is going to be a big challenge for me because I'm going to paint straight away on my jeans, and I've never done that. Always start with sketching first. If I haven't introduced myself, I was born and raised in Myanmar, but today I live in Berlin. Honestly, I am the person I used to be, and the person I am now. They feel like completely different person. So I kind of got an idea that I want to talk about this. Let's get started.
I was very different. I was quiet, careful, and always trying to fit into the image of who I was supposed to be. I wonder why this identity issue happened to me is because as a kid in my country, we were oppressed by all this cultural belief and religion that I believe we weren't given enough freedom, which I don't blame my parents, and this has nothing to do with them, but the school and the uni dorm that I lived in. Because the moment my brain could start thinking, most of my time was spent away from my parents. So the people who aren't my parents shaped me into someone they think is best for me. So they control young people's life basically, not just me. They still doing it until now. Then I moved abroad and suddenly the box I was living in started to stretch. I met new sides of myself. The louder ones, the softer ones, wild ones, some that didn't care about labels at all. I used to think I was a shy feminist, like that was my thing, you know? And now I don't even try to define myself because what's the point? I just do whatever feels like me that day. Probably it might also depend on what I had for breakfast. Also, when you spend so much time trying to live up to other standards or trying to spending your time to define who you are, you begin to forget who you actually want to explore within yourself. You limit yourself within this one world. The time when I was living up to everyone else's standard, I felt like I was constantly running after a version of myself that everyone else had written for me. And that's how my identity started to blur. And I started questioning, was I doing things because I believe in them or because I didn't want to disappoint anyone? So that's the moment the crisis hits me. And I also ask myself, is it necessary to know your identity after, trying to figure out who am I and what am I? When it comes to racial identity, I was given one with my look. I gotta start with people who look at my face and assume, are you Chinese? I said yes. Are you Vietnamese? Yes. Japanese? I said yes. Korean? Yes. Because when I say I'm from Myanmar, the response is always the same. They will be like, oh, where is it? And I got tired of explaining it, tired of rehearsing the same sentence like I was answering an exam question. The only thing they've consistently gotten right is that I am a woman. I say it not to fit in, but because it's fascinating how people interact with you differently based on what you tell them. This made me realize how superficial and limiting these labels can be. Others' perceptions are so often based on shallow or incorrect assumptions, then perhaps identity isn't something fixed or easily defined. Maybe it's more fluid, shaped by our own experiences and choices rather than the labels others try to impose on us. And I remember when I was 19, lying awake at night, watching my life like a movie, looking at myself laughing, hurting, losing, or achieving, people coming and going, and me just sitting in the audience wondering if I would ever get to be the one writing the script. In today's world, it feels like you need a label to exist, an identity. But the question is identity something we are given or something we create? I've come to see identity not as how I look, but how I connect with people and how I behave. Not what I say I am, but how I make others feel, and not the box I fit in, but how I move through the spaces between. The more I try to find the right label, the more I realized I was limiting myself. So now instead of asking who am I ask what parts of me am I still yet to meet. People often ask how I see myself, but honestly, I don't, if that makes sense, because there's just too much out there that's more interesting than trying to find the perfect word to describe me. I move with my mood, but of course with awareness. Sometimes I fit in, sometimes I don't. Maybe that's enough. So going through an identity crisis can feel like you are lost or unsure of who you are, where you fit in. This often happens when the roles or labels that others have given, which you don't match how you truly see yourself. Some people say that sticking too closely to real life can be dull. It's okay to imagine and create your own path, but while it is great to dream and think outside the box, it's also important to stay connected to the reality because ignoring the real world completely can make things confusing and disconnect you from others, and you don't want that. Finding out who you are is about balancing the realize with the imagine. This is basically what I do. It's about blending the roles society gives you with your own dreams and ideas. By doing this, you can create an identity that feels true to you and you can switch